Hey, Reed. Hey, Reed. How you doing?
Good, Ted. How are you?
I'm alive and well.
There you go. I am. Charlie Walker.
Hey, Ted. Hey, Reed.
Morning. How are you?
Good. It's cold where I'm at. How about you guys?
19 degrees.
Ooh.
Ditto. Good morning.
Are you getting snow up there?
Not yet, but there's ice, frost all over everything. We had a little bit of snow, but I mean, we don't call it snow until you can see it on the ground. So
I hear you. We may even get a little bit of that, it says this weekend, so we'll see.
Where are you?
Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I just saw where Greensboro, possibly 8 to 12 inches they might get. They don't know, of course, until it hits us, but
that's what they're predicting for us as well.
I can just imagine. They were talking about some snow right after our conference up there, but I don't know if it actually happened at Lake Junaluska.
I don't think it did. I was out of town and it did snow one day.
Just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just popping on to make sure things are working okay. Julie's going to be on soon, I'm sure. So glad to see you guys up and at 'em and pulling things together and staying motivated. And just remember, if there's anything I can do to support you, you've got my email, I think you should. I'm going to be sending out an email too here shortly, just kind of updating everybody and giving people some ideas. So it'll certainly have my email on there and my phone number if you need me, okay?
Okay. I am.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. I am frantically going through emails, trying to find the document from what came out of the meeting at Junaluska because I had to leave early.
Yeah, I found just this morning, and let's see if I can guide you there.
Do you know the date that was sent out?
Oh man, I had to get to a. Hang on a second, Reed. Let me do this. What's your email address, Reed?
It's reid.smithdale, SMITHDEAL at meridianbhs.org.
All right, I just sent it to you.
Thank you.
I think. And I lost my video while I was doing it.
Lost your video?
Yeah. We'll see if it comes back here in a minute. Can you see me still?
I can. Yep.
Okay. Huh. Oh, there you are. I'm learning to use Zoom still.
Okay.
If I spelled Meridian correctly, that should be
Yes.
popping in your box.
Yeah, it just came in. There we go. And Julie is at a conference. in Pinehurst, I believe. And so I'm not sure who else is supposed to be on here, Ted.
We have Julie. Karen was our friend from the North Carolina Tobacco Free group, and then Vanessa and Marissa were with the Restorative Justice Center out of Boone. I think that was our group. If it's just me and you here, I'm ready to roll.
Yep. Okay. I think Julie was going to join, but it may not. She may not. I don't know about the others in the group, like whether they were going to or not. So give a couple of more minutes to Julie and see if she's going to pop on here. Today's meeting, I think, is going to be real short.
Yes.
Because I think that we are just looking at tasks moving forward and
trying to keep a little momentum.
Yeah, and see what our next steps are. So I don't know that we got a whole lot of work to dig into. So
this is valuable to me, just to be able to use the Zoom a little bit and figure out how this works. So thank you for.
Yeah. So where are you at?
Bryson City.
Bryson City.
Wayne County, yeah.
I was there last night.
Did you ride in the Polar Express?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Well, my daughter, she's 16 and she's working that. Sometimes she's an elf and sometimes she's a server.
Okay. All right.
I'm glad you got to do that. Did y'all have a good experience?
We did. I have a 16-month-old that was all into it, and then I have a 7-year-old that she still believes and was excited. Doesn't quite describe the whole experience for her. And my 10-year-old did a great job of helping them hold on to believing. He knows, and he finds it cool that he can be a part of helping them remember or helping them get into the magic of Christmas. So
that's awesome.
We had a good time.
Fun stuff. Got your money's worth.
Yeah. So that is a hard part of it. It might be Julie there.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry. I'm at this conference and I got sidetracked and I don't have my computer with me, so I had to call in.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. And I'll go ahead and acknowledge it. Nothing y'all don't know that being that I had to step away, I feel kind of lost at what we're doing. So we are all kind of figuring this out together. I think today, though, we are supposed to look at next steps. And I also don't know the grand plan of, and I can dig into this some, but through email, but the grand plan of there were more than 3 of us in the group. And so is the intention to try and keep everybody, generated, motivated? Do we reach out to them? Are there ways that we're prompting others? So, and or is it we run with who shows up? So, but I'll check back with the larger team on that and follow up from there. That being said, I'm looking at timelines. I'm looking at the document that Julie created, and I guess we will just go down the list and see where things are. So the first thing that pops up is the piece around, Julie, you were going to reach out to harm reduction and local Western prevention programs.
Hey, Reed, Julie, can I?
Yeah,
Just a second before we get going.
yeah, and Michelle Mathis, I have reached out to her. She was unavailable to attend the summit, but she's very much interested in becoming part of the of Recovery Alliance. And so again, I've reached out to her, and she is willing to participate. And she also has some staff that really want to get engaged.
Okay, and she's with the harm reduction?
Yeah, she's with the harms, and her name's Michelle Mathis.
Okay. Did you have something, Ted, that you were?
I just wanted to say, hey to Julie. Hey, Julie.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. I didn't know if you can you tell it's just me and you and Reed on this call.
Yeah, when I called in, it said that there were only 2 participants. So
Okay, so you get that.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
still learning to use Zoom. But also, I think you're the one that typed this document for us in the first place, weren't you?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, you had this first item, and then Karen had the second item, and then I had the third one. So I'm like you, Reed. I think if we just look at these real quick, we'll be in good shape.
Okay. So in regards to Mathis, sorry about that, Ted. I'm awful about doing that. I jump into stuff and just start running and
We're glad. Thank you.
trying to get things accomplished and don't slow down enough to do the getting everybody talking. So
yeah, and I do have one question.
What's that?
Before we jump into our 3 items, there was another group working on our same topic, community program identification and implementation.
I think there were 2 others, yeah.
I remember one of them. Do y'all remember? They said something about to the effect that we're going to wait and see what this other committee comes up with and then do our work. It was a table right next to us, toward the middle of the room. And you were gone, Reed. Julie, do you remember that?
Yeah, but and that what were they looking at doing?
They were the same project we are, but while we identified a few things, they said that there was another committee that was working, and they were going to wait and see what their work produced. I didn't know if you remembered that comment when they were reporting around tables. I don't remember it.
I do know, and I vaguely remember that comment, but I do know that within the B-SAN project, and see, Kim James was the scribe for that table that was beside of us. And I think that what she was referring to is that there is a committee, and I think it had to do with the harms reduction that was within the B-SAN community that was really trying to get more word out in reference to what is harms, defining harms reduction, getting more education in the community about how that really can offset some health issues within the community. And Michelle Mathis attends B-SAN. And so I think that that's what they were referring to, that we may want to tie some of what they're already doing locally, in a broader picture. And Michelle, I was able, because she's also at some of our Catawba meetings, and she said very much that she was wanting to get involved with this initiative. But I think that that's what Kim James was referring to.
Okay. Thank you.
That works out. That actually works out really good. Thanks for asking that question, Ted. It brings up clarity, because what I was thinking Julie, when you brought up Michelle Mathis, is inviting her into our next meeting. It would be a way that she could get involved with the Alliance and
With our next.
And be able to accomplish what Ted was pointing out, that we don't want to be replicating work that others are doing independently in the community. So maybe we can join with what the harm reduction coalition's doing and become more of a united force coming together to work on similar issue.
Yeah.
Or same
I
issue.
think that absolutely, because I think that each of us try and, give our time, but if we can reduce some of the duplication, and if you want me to, whenever we decide the next time that this group's going to meet, I can ask if she can Zoom into that meeting. We can do an invite.
Sure.
And then from there, start some discussions about what she's doing locally. And then from there, see maybe where we can parallel some meetings.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Says that the chief is going to be contacting local law enforcement. Did anybody? That's by the spring. I moved on by accident. I didn't really realize that I'd moved through. So does that cover the first action item? It looks like it does to me. Are you seeing more work to be done there, Ted?
No, just Juliet said you were going to reach out to NC Harm Reduction and Western Prevention Programs.
Right.
Yeah, so if you'll reach back out to Michelle and we'll set up another meeting time after this and invite her in and let her know that gets her part of the alliance. And then we can also, I mean, I'm sure that the coalition has other connections to the alliance around the state, but and she can help with what we're working on, and or if there's resources that we can provide to her for stuff that the harm reduction is working on, we can collaborate there as well.
Yeah, that sounds good.
The second part is a Western Lead Coalition meeting to take place. Was that scheduled, or were we talking about setting one up?
I think it was already scheduled, and it was about us getting a connection with them just to see if we could give them information about what the Recovery Alliance Coalition is, and to see if we can get more participation. That was my thought.
Okay. I can contact the chief. I'll contact Bill and see if I can get information on that. If there is a coalition going on, I'm sure he's a part of it as.
Oh, I know what that was after reading some more of my notes. There's not a coalition, but it would be great if they could form a coalition, because right now you have lead programs in different local areas, and if they could form a coalition and actually have a stronger voice in reference to what that whole project's about. So I think it was about if they could form a coalition.
Okay.
Yeah, and part of that conversation too was that lead program, I think it's been implemented there in Haywood County, but it was to kind of let other counties, other sheriffs understand the value of it and try to promote ideas like that throughout the region and not get it on out of Haywood County. Because I think that's a pilot program there, I believe.
Yeah, and it's also set up in Catawba County. It's new, though, in Catawba County. It's not even been in a year process. And then Burke County has just set it up as well. And I know Sheriff Wisnett is very involved inspired by this program, and I can reach out to him if you would like to see if he would want to sort of meet with Haywood County and just see if we, exactly what you said, that to see the value of that type of program, but to see if those leaders can actually get that message into the community.
Okay. So between now and next meeting, if you'll reach out to where's the sheriff? You know?
It's Sheriff Steve Wisnett in Burke County.
In Burke County, okay.
Yeah.
Julie Burke. And I will reach out to Bill.
And I can reach out to Catawba County. Catawba Valley Behavioral Health is the one that actually houses the lead case manager, but it was 5 law enforcement entities in the county. So I'll see who I would need to contact to maybe be that person. But I can reach out to Catawba as well.
Okay. And so when you reach out, what I've got down that I'm going to contact Bill about is trying to create or generate a comprehensive list of the counties that are actually doing this.
Okay.
Who they are. And so that may seem like duplicate work. You reaching out to someone, a sheriff or a chief, and me reaching out to a chief, but you never know who's talked to who. And so we want to try and come up with where is this being done. And then also asking, has there been any conversations in any of these? I mean, because they have like the chiefs meeting, regional meetings and statewide meetings, having the conversation of, has there been any conversation around the development of a coalition?
Okay.
Would be the second question, I think, to ask. And the third question, I think, would be, would you be interested in that? Being a part of a coalition to help bring it up, to strengthen, just to kind of put feelers out there to see where we're at with things. And so you reach your contacts, I'll reach mine, and we'll come back together and we'll go from there.
That sounds good.
Reed and Julie, if we're trying to expand this on into the rest of the region, while we're creating a list of who's got it going on, I think we just might as well list out our region, and like, for instance, my county, Swain County, put us down there and just list our sheriff as, that's the person who ultimately has to sign off on it, and that's who we want to get the message to eventually. So if we know we've got 3 sheriffs and 2 police chiefs that are doing this, they're our advocates, and then we'll see the other 8 or 10 people that we need to be targeting and trying to get the message to, and hopefully along the way we'll find a champion in each county that will have the ear of that person who ultimately has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
So if we're generating a list, if you go ahead and put all the counties down, and at least who the sheriff is, and the police chief.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea as we start to look at generating or trying to create some motivation around creating a coalition. And that way, even folks, like you're mentioning, folks that may just be interested and not have the program up and going yet, and or for the folks who have the program going, and folks who haven't heard about it, to be able to contact, say, hey, we've got this going on. So, how do we want to move forward on that? Do we want to do a Western North Carolina map the counties out and identify sheriffs and chiefs?
I'll do the sheriffs. Tell me where our region is, what's the boundary of our region, and I'll knock that out.
Okay. That's always an abstract question.
Yeah, I don't know who we're dealing with here. I mean, you're talking about Catawba and Burke County. How far east do I need to go? Where do I need to draw the line, Julie?
You know, I'm not. I think it's. I think Catawba may be. I don't know.
I'll just
I'm
find out who all's involved with the Western Carolina Recovery Alliance, and I'll do those counties.
So
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
the counties that are most commonly associated with Western North Carolina have to do with the mountain region. So it's
I-77 West.
yeah.
Hey, this is Marissa. I just jumped on the line. Sorry.
Hey Marissa,
Hey,
glad you joined.
Hey, we're having snow issues.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Hey, Marissa,
Julie,
you've got
Hey.
Reed and Julie and Ted here with you.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna listen. I don't want y'all to have to repeat what you've redo what you've done, but I'll just listen.
As I'm digging to try and find out how we're, you can pull up maps that wind up giving the actual counties here.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
find it.
here you go. Here you go. I'll email you the counties. There's 28 counties that are generally identified in, and I say we go with what's already established as Western North Carolina rather than make up our own
Thank you.
boundaries. So I'm just going to reply back to that email you sent me, Ted. There you go. I just sent you the 28 counties. So, all right. And so we have Ted doing a Excel or some kind of document that's
Yeah.
counties with chief and sheriff identified. And Julie and I are contacting law enforcement to see if who's doing it. Has there been conversations around the coalition, and would they be interested? And Richie says that he's going to help contacting community leaders within Western region. To discuss the interest of lead. Anybody have a conversation with Richie about that?
No, we have not.
Okay. I can reach out to Richie. I'm in contact with him regularly.
What's Richie's? Is he part of that program in Haywood County, or?
No, he's with APNC right now. He shifted over there this year. Yeah, I mean, he's been involved him and I have been on some committees that have worked on bringing that program to Haywood, but he's not employed by them.
Okay.
All right, I will do that. And then we move into the next item, which is educating private businesses around behavioral health issues, how it affects, working with IPS providers, state level, and EAP providers.
What is IPS providers?
Individualized placement and support. It's an employment service. I am not clear on what we were doing there.
That was our gentleman from Biltmore Estate there, from Biltmore Company. he was coming at it from that private business side and just reminding us that, hey, we need to look at educating private businesses and getting them in on the loop. So that's where that one came from. But that's all I can say about it.
Okay. It doesn't seem like there's an action item there.
No. And I do know your supported employment programs. There are very few of those. I do know, like in Burke County, A Caring Alternative just got awarded a contract through Partners to start that in January. I could sort of do a mapping with that to see in the Western region who has IPS supported employment contracts, as well as where are the EAP programs.
Okay.
And see maybe if we can at least get a listing of providers that are doing these programs.
I can get a list of the IPS. I'm the chair of the IPS
you do?
Western Region Coalition and the statewide chair of IPS Coalition.
Okay. Well, if you have that list, then did you want me to try and see who has EAP programs?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yep.
Okay.
Is the goal to engage those programs with private businesses, or to educate the private businesses about these other programs, or about recovery and I think what the Biltmore man, I can't remember his name now, was referencing the cost benefits, the savings of supporting someone who's in recovery, and that they're going to be loyal to the company, and the less turnover saves money. And so it was more of an education and number crunching type thing.
Yeah, and with the larger goal of expanding leads, I think it also makes sense around how do those, where's the interface with those?
Mm-hmm.
How does the case manager from leads connect with the IPS teams or the EAPs in order to help folks find employment so that they're not stuck back in that loop of the easy one is making a living dealing drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and or whatever else, so working with the connection there, I think, is what we would be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it would be the education piece, like you were referencing too, with the education of the general public, the businesses. So we can we can start with the list of the IPS and the EAPs.
Excuse me.
And go from there.
Yeah, we could reach out to them and see what they're doing with their employer base is there in their own local area.
Okay. The next section below that is working with individuals. The cessation is offered, smoking cessation. Has Karen Caldwell down happening by February 2019. Y'all remember the discussion around that?
She's at the state level, so I think she was, let's see, work with individuals. Oh, she was going to try and bring information to the table because even providers aren't aware of some of the services that they can do in-house for those providers around smoking cessation, but also connecting like to your free clinics in the community, getting information out about, that treatment providers in general, if you're heavily addicted, alcohol, marijuana, whatever it may be, that a lot of times it's sort of given the impression, well, it's okay though if you smoke as long as you're getting off of these others, but there's stats out there saying that you actually have a greater shot of recovery if you're abstinent from everything, even the nicotine. So she, I think, from what I remember, was going to try and get some of that information to this committee in order on how to get more information out there about some education.
Okay. Was she at the Alliance meeting?
Yeah, she volunteered to do this. She was at our table.
Okay, all right. So what do we need to do here, do y'all think?
I would say reach out to her and just see if she's still on task to do this. And didn't it say February? I think she was trying to get it in before, but with the holidays and all, that's what she had said.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe just reach out to her and just see if she's on board to still do this.
I can send her an email. That'd be good. All right. And then the last item that we have, Recovery Allies within the faith community, bringing awareness around addictive behavioral health issues, concerns, resources, and Ted, you are the identified person working on the direct activity. Will be provide faith-based networks with information about the resources available. Is that correct?
I think it was both ways, just making all of our government and folks aware of the faith-based resources out there and vice versa. And what I've done is kind of looking at our local area here in Swain County and the Cherokee Indian Reservation in particular, but of some of the faith-based resources we have. But I've reached back to the Hendersonville Rescue Mission over toward Hendersonville. Those guys have been at it there for over 30 years, a very successful model there. And the new, in Haywood County, the new pathways that Sheriff Christopher has going on there for going on 2 years now, it was somewhat modeled after the Hendersonville Rescue Mission. I know they collaborated in the beginning on the front end of that. And it's going on, it's into its second year, I believe. And so just identifying those things like that and making sure everybody's aware of, and within the faith-based community, making sure our network, that churches and people are aware of what's out there, reducing stigma and letting us as people of faith address this issue as effectively as we can and help people be restored.
Okay.
I think it's a job of, finding out what's out there and just continuing to work on that. So.
All right. Do you need any support with anything that the Alliance can help you with, or are you good moving forward with what you're doing?
I've got my hands full. I'm good.
All right. All right. All right.
I'll probably be reaching out to you folks as this thing unfolds to keep myself educated and aware of the best way to bring people to the table in effective ways. So.
Okay. Marissa, to catch you up on something that we were working on before next meeting, and I need to go ahead and acknowledge it. I'm gonna have to wrap up here due to a previously scheduled meeting, but Julie's reaching out to some contacts, and I'm reaching out to some contacts, law enforcement wise, in our local areas to ask the questions of, are they doing lead? I know in Boone they are doing lead, and do they know of other areas to see if there's anywhere in Western North Carolina that we're not aware of where lead is already. So we're asking them first, are there other areas that you know of to do lead, and compare those notes back and forth, and ask them if they have been involved in any level anywhere around the development of a coalition for lead, and wondering if you could do that in your area.
Sure.
Okay. And then when we come back together, we will kind of compare notes and move forward on a plan. If there is interest, what do we do? What do we need to do to start generating that up?
And so what area are we covering? Are there?
Western North Carolina.
Okay. So I work a lot in the criminal justice system, and it's divided up kind of by judicial district.
Uh-huh.
But sheriff, law enforcement is usually county specific, but it feeds into this judicial district. So I don't know if that's helpful in dividing things up, but. And then the Alliance event that we went to, they defined it in a different way. I think the range only went up to I'm in Watauga, but it went up to Madison and Yancey maybe, and Mitchell, which are also, we just started drug courts in those areas, the bottom of my judicial district.
Yeah. Okay.
So however you want to divide it up, just so we're not double contacting.
So I was contacting Bill Hollingsworth, who is in Waynesville, and we know is doing the lead program. Julie had a contact of where she is of the sheriff. So it's just in your local is what we're looking at right now to kind of see. We're trying to get a kind of a vision of where lead all is and make sure we've got where it's already been implemented, and then moving forward from there. Mm-hmm. Rather than we're not talking about contacting, at least at this point, not contacting every region, every county.
Okay. Just
eventually
getting a feel for it.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So in closing, real quick, do we want to set a new next meeting time?
Yeah, that sounds great.
What are we thinking? Are we thinking monthly? At the start here, every other month? What are y'all thinking on that?
I'm open to do either or, and I can actually post these notes too on the website.
That'd be great.
I don't connected with all of you for a friend request through the website, so I'll make sure I do that as well. I've got each of your emails, but I will try and get that done probably next week. I'm still at the conference, But
Okay.
I'll get the notes in, okay?
Okay. With the to-do list that we've got going, do we think we can accomplish that by the end of January? Is that doable?
I think the end of January, 1st of February, somewhere right in there is doable for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And what is the 21st to 25th of January work for the next scheduled meeting? That's a Friday.
It's good for me.
Say that again?
The 25th of January. Does that work?
25th of,
Can we go to the next week? I have actually 2 morning meetings that day. And
Sure. How about
that?
Afternoon of the 28th or the anytime on the 29th?
Yeah, either of those would work.
what, can you tell me what days of the,
That's a Monday and a Tuesday.
okay. I can probably make either of those work, Monday or Tuesday afternoon.
In the afternoon? Okay.
Or morning. As long if I have enough notice, I can usually make it work.
What about 9 o'clock on the 29th?
Okay.
I've got a 9:30 staff meeting that day.
Okay. How about,
I'm good at, well, in the afternoon probably of those days or mid-morning.
how about 3 o'clock on the 28th? That's Monday. Does that work for everybody?
That works.
Yes.
3 o'clock on the 28th. You got it.
Okay.
Okay. And Julie, you're going to send out the minutes from today, correct?
Yes, correct.
Great. All right. I have to run to another meeting. Thanks, everybody, for all your
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Stay warm. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.